welcome back to Movies, Munchies, and Moscato. I am Rhonda.
And I am Rochelle.
And we're just a couple of friends who love movie, television, and of course some wine. So that is something that interests you. Please stick around and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And now it's time for some movie and TV news and pulp culture discussion. So Vince Vaughn is actually going to be returning for Dodgeball number 2. It has been 20 years since the first film, which I do remember enjoying. But yeah, that's just crazy. And I don't know why else they want to make a Dodgeball 2, but I guess nostalgia's sake, I don't know. Or maybe it was one of the bigger releases at the time. I honestly just can't remember because obviously it's been 20 years. So, but I think that's pretty cool.
That is cool. That was a funny show.
It was pretty funny. And we just don't see Vince Vaughn enough, so it works for me. Connie Nielsen is actually going to return as well in a movie. That would be the Gladiator sequel.
Oh my gosh.
She will again be playing Lucilla. And then Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things has also been cast as Emperor I think it's Caracalla, is how I'm pronouncing it?
Caracalla.
Caracalla?
I think.
So it's exciting. It's coming together. Spoiler alert, although it's been so old, I mean, if you don't know, but Russell Crowe's character did, unfortunately pass away.
Yes, he did.
At the end of that, so he will not be coming back. That's not, if those out there thinking, what about Russell Crowe? If you hadn't seen it, he had not.
His wife came and got him from heaven. He said. He was beheaded.
Yeah, so that can't happen, unfortunately. So that's awesome. So we got them. And did we hear Joaquin Phoenix is also coming back or no? Or did he pass? I can't remember if he didn't die at the end, did he?
Oh, he did, yes.
Oh, he did.
He won't be coming back.
Oh, okay. I can't remember if he died at the end either.
No, he won't.
I'll have to rewatch it, obviously, before the sequel, because I remember very little about it at this point. The morning show has been renewed for season 4 on Apple TV, and they haven't even premiered the season 3 yet, which will be out not till September. We still have a while, folks. We still have a while for season 3 to come
I'm
out.
ready for that to end, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't enjoy this last season. But maybe 3 will get me going. But I didn't really care for this.
It wasn't as good. I admit I didn't find it as good as last season. Reese Witherspoon's character arc was very weird to me. I was up and down. So yeah, we'll have to see where they come with it. Because it wasn't the best thing to me either.
I agree, and I actually didn't finish watching it because I just was not having it. So.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm almost done. I think it was like 2 episodes away, which is kind of dumb, but I think I just got irritated and was like, no, I'm not watching this. But I will finish it, especially if 3's coming out, and give it another go. See what this storyline's about.
Right, exactly. So Yellowstone, it's official, will end with the current season 5 on Paramount Plus. So right now it's scheduled that the second half of season 5 will air in November. It got pushed back more, 1, because they haven't filmed all of it, and 2, because of the current writer's strike that's happening. We won't see that last half until November. And then immediately, apparently, after it's over, the spinoff starring Matthew McConaughey will be expected to start. And it is expected that a lot of the original cast members will be into his version.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm okay with that. I'll be sad that Kevin Costner isn't there. But, I read some troubling things about Taylor Sheridan. Like, he's very particular on his movies, as he should, because they're extremely successful. But he costs the company a lot of money because he only uses like his farrier, which are their doctors, or they come in and they take care of the horse's hooves and and their teeth and stuff like that. And so he only uses his farrier, who comes from Texas. He is, I guess he spends a lot of money, but I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad that everybody's so upset about. I guess Kevin Costner was kind of upset about that too, but it's like this dude's making Paramount a lot of money, especially with all of his spin-offs, his shows. One of my favorites, which I've said before, is it's with Jeremy Renner and it's Mayor of Kingstown. Mm-hmm. I love that show, and now I'm really sad that I think that's going to probably be out a while because Jeremy Renner can't. He's not up to par yet. But
that's true. Anyway,
so I don't. You never know what you read, if it's true or not. But apparently there was some hubbub around hubbub around that. So anyway, we shall see. But I do like when I love Matthew McConaughey. So
I do.
You know, I think it could be.
And
be
like
good.
Costner, he is a real life cowboy. He likes doing all those things.
Yeah.
So it works.
That was the other thing. So Taylor Sheridan has his own cowboy camp.
Oh, okay.
So he trains the cowboys. They have to use his cattle. They have to use everything that's his, and he gets paid for it.
When you say the cowboys, you mean the actors playing the cowboy or something else?
Yeah, he teaches them, and then any other cowboys that are just in random scenes, or because there's a lot of other cowboys in there that are actually real cowboys.
Mm-hmm. We also, in news, Carl Urban, who currently is starring on The Boys, will play Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat 2. Didn't realize we were getting a second one, although I shouldn't be surprised that we are, because right now movie about games are all the rage. So that's cool. I actually did like the first Mortal Kombat. I surprised myself by liking it.
Yeah,
so,
I did too. I liked it.
I'm on board.
Not knowing much about the game.
Yeah, that's true. So Nicolas Cage and Bill Skarsgård will star in a Lord of War sequel to the first movie that was back all the way again in 2005, and they will be playing father and son. I remember seeing this movie back in the day. It was Nicolas Cage and Jared Leto. Jared Leto was playing his brother. I just remember Jared Leto's character drove me absolutely insane. I do remember that. I don't remember the plot so much. I knew they were like weapons dealers, and it was like that brother of his kept like, he was always getting like in the way. Anyway, it was like so infuriating. I remember watching it. But, so again, another sequel. It's just so random they decided to make a sequel.
I've seen that. Or maybe
so long ago.
Saw part of it. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, you'd have to watch, and then you'd be like, oh, I remember that vaguely. If you start watching the first one, it may come back to you.
Right, that's true.
Anyway, so I did remember liking it. Jared Leto's character just bugged the crap out of me. So, but that's the only thing I remember about it. Fantasy Island has been canceled on Fox after 2 seasons, which is unfortunate. I watched a couple episodes of this, and it actually was really good.
Really?
From what I saw, it's expanded on the original a lot, and it just worked. I did like how it worked. I was surprised again that I ended up enjoying it. So I hope it ends on a good note for those who have been avid watchers. But yeah, I wouldn't mind going back and finishing what I didn't see of the first season and continuing, because I did like it. And it was cool to see guest stars, you know, like before pop in there.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
No, I never did watch this new one, so
I did like it. So CBS had canceled Shamar Moore's SWAT for as of their current season, but then they did a last minute reversal, and now they've renewed it for one final season 7, to wrap it all up.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's interesting. I wonder how that went down. What was that
apparently
conversation
like? Apparently it was just all the fan backlash when it was announced they were canceling it. And even Shamar Moore himself was like, this is stupid. Why are you doing this? We're still pretty highly rated, like, and to cancel it like last minute like this.
Oh yeah.
When they'd already filmed the current season. So basically it would have ended as it ended, with probably no closure. And so because of the backlash, they decided we'll give you one more season and we'll wrap it up with season 7.
And that makes more sense.
Yes, it really does. It's not like it's it is still high in the ratings apparently, so it is it is funny. So yay! So one more season of SWAT.
Yeah.
So silly. Melissa I can't say her name.
Barrera.
Sorry, Barrera. She's from the Scream movies, and then Nicholas Holtz, last seen in Renfield, will star in this movie called The One, which is about a nightmare reality dating show that turns into a horror, like an actual horror movie. Now, to me, this is actually an interesting concept, being like a horror movie. Yes. Let's see where this goes. I'm curious to see where this is going to go. This one I'll be here to see a trailer on once it's done. And then finally, Beetlejuice 2 is officially coming out September of 2024. Michael Keaton is returning as Beetlejuice. Winona Ryder is returning. And Jenna Ortega is going to be playing Winona Ryder's daughter in this
that's
version.
great.
And in my way, they haven't said yet. I'm hoping they bring back Winona's parents, who was played by, it was Catherine O'Hara. And I forgot who's the dad in that, but I hope that it'd be cool if they could still be in it as the grandparents. But I get that we're not going to get Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin. That was a whole other storyline.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But I hope that the parents will come back. So I think that's really cool. Michael Keaton playing Beetlejuice again. See, all these sequels from movies from so long ago. It's so crazy.
They can make him look old, and it won't even matter in that.
Because he has the makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So totally, I'm so okay with that.
Yeah, me too. All right, right, so we have movies and TV shows that have been released. We'll start out with last week, and then we'll go with this week since we've been off for 2 weeks. So for last week, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This is in theaters and stars Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, and Karen Gillan. So still reeling from the loss of Gamora, Peter Quill must rally his team to defend the universe and protect one of their own. If the mission is not completely successful, it could possibly lead to the end of the Guardians as we know them. I will be discussing this in what we watched. This is a movie I saw. It was very good. Then we have Love Again. This is also in theaters and stars Priyanka Chopra and Sam Heughan from Outlander. So coping with the loss of her fiancé, Mira Ray sends a series of romantic texts to his old cell phone number, not realizing it was reassigned to journalist Rob Burns. Rob becomes captivated by the honesty of her words and the beautifully constructed texts. When he is assigned to write a profile of superstar Celine Dion, he enlists her help to figure out how to meet Mira in person and win her heart.
That sounds cute.
It does sound cute. I mean, it's something I would go to theater.
How did she get all this really seriously? How did she get to play opposite him?
Right? I mean, I'm sure it was just... I don't even know if she has to audition anymore. It's probably those things like, send it out to her and see if she'd like to do it. It's like she's I can see that being the case. That's so this does look cute. I wouldn't obviously run to see it in theaters, but once it hits streaming, I'm all about it. I would see it. You know, me and my Hallmark stuff. I don't think it'll be as cheesy as Hallmark. I'm just saying.
Right.
You know, me and my romance movies. Speaking of which, we have Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story. This is a new series on Netflix and stars India. Gosh, I'm really going to butcher her last name, and I apologize. It's Amart E. Fayo, maybe. Then we have Corey Milchrist as King George. So this is about the young queen's marriage to King George of England, which ushers in an epic love story and transforms high society. So for those who don't know, this is a prequel to Bridgerton, seasons 1 and 2, which featured, you know, an older Queen Charlotte and King George. And so this is basically telling how they met and how their marriage, the ups and downs of it, and then how it changed the society that we now see on Bridgerton. It was... Oh, sorry. I'll talk about it again. Sorry, in my what we watched. I won't. But yes, something to watch. And then finally, for last week, we have Silo. This is a new series on Apple TV and stars Rebecca Ferguson, who my heck is everywhere these days, Tim Robbins, and Rashida Jones. So in a ruined and toxic future, a community exists in a giant underground silo that plunges hundreds of stories deep. There, people live in a society full of regulations they believe are meant to protect them.
That sounds creepy.
Yeah, I saw the trailer and I actually was intrigued. I need to at least watch the first episode because I am curious as where this is going. So, and it's on Apple, who most of the time has good stuff. So,
yeah, it does.
I will have to check it out. Definitely. Okay, so for this week, we have Book Club, The Next Chapter. This is in theaters and stars Jane Fonda, Diane Keaton, Mary Steenburgen, and Candice Bergen. So 4 best friends take their book club to Italy for the fun girls trip they never had.
Was Candice Bergen in the last one?
She was.
Why didn't I saw it, I was looking at that trailer and I was like, was she in the last one? I don't know why I didn't remember that.
She was, yeah. When things go off the rails and secrets are revealed, their relaxing vacation turns into a once-in-a-lifetime cross-country adventure. So we will probably see this because we saw the first one together, and we enjoyed it. It was fun. So we'll have to check out this one. Then we have Hypnotic. This is in theaters starring Ben Affleck, Alice Braga, and William Fichtner. So when a detective learns that his missing daughter and a string of high-profile bank robberies might be connected, he must go on a mind-bending journey to find his daughter and stop the secret government agency behind the madness. Ooh. This looks interesting as well from the trailer I think we watched a couple weeks back. Anyway, I would see this as well.
Is it in theaters?
Yes, this is in theaters, but once it hits streaming, I definitely want to watch it. And then on Netflix, we have a new movie called The Mother, starring his wife, Jennifer Lopez, also Lucy Paez and Omari Hardrick, and Gael Garcia Bernal. So while fleeing from dangerous assailants, an assassin comes out of hiding to protect her daughter she left earlier in life. This looks like a fun action adventure with Jennifer Lopez. The trailer, if you haven't seen it, will remind you of back in the day when she starred in that movie Enough as the battered housewife. That's the vibes it's giving me on this movie.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Yes, and so I think this will be entertaining as well. So I'll definitely watch this on Netflix. And obviously it was released just in time for Mother's Day. Whoop whoop. Then we have City on Fire. This is a new series also on Apple TV and stars Chase Sue Wonders, Max Milner, and Kathleen Monroe. So after a NYU student is found dead, her connection to a series of citywide fires begins to reveal itself. This is apparently based on a book.
Yeah.
As a lot of stuff on Apple is.
That is true.
So, but it does sound interesting. I can't imagine how a college student would be connected to a series of citywide fires. So, the plot alone is
setting them.
Unless they're setting them, or they know who is, or it's maybe a family member is setting them, and they're aware.
Yeah.
Anyway, so many possibilities. Then we have Class of '09. This is a new series on Hulu. It stars Brian Tyree Henry and Kate Mara. So a class of FBI agents set in 3 distinct points in time who grapple with immense changes as the U.S. criminal justice system is altered by artificial intelligence. Spanning multiple decades and told across interweaving timelines, the series examines the nature of justice, humanity, and the choices people make that ultimately define their lives and legacy.
Wow, that sounds like truer than fiction for sure.
Right?
The whole AI thing.
It does. The trailer, again, looked interesting, so it's something I wouldn't mind checking out as well. So I have to watch the first episode and see. And then finally for this week, we have Season 3 of The Great on Hulu, starring, again, Elle Fanning and Nicholas Hoult. And, of course, this is comedic take on the true story of Catherine the Great.
Yes, and you know what? I did see, like, a trailer on that, and I haven't seen any of the first 2 seasons. Have you?
I have not. This is something that our friend Danielle has watched, and she raves about it, so I just haven't ever taken the time to give it a chance.
Okay, well, I have to
apparently it's good.
It looks fun. I mean, it does look good, so
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm going to give it a whirl.
Yeah, it does look good. So, lots of great options these last 2 weeks to check out. So, what we have been watching. So, for me, I first watched Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves in theaters. You know, the stars Chris Pine and Hugh Grant and Reggie Jean Page from Bridgerton. As well as Sophia Lillis from, not Stranger Things, from It, sorry. Anyway, this was very entertaining, you guys. I'm not one who ever played Dungeons & Dragons growing up, but you could definitely see watching the movie where the game would come into play. It was very well done. I'm sure this will get a sequel because, I mean, it's not that it left off a cliffhanger, but there's obviously more story you can tell. I just thought everyone did a really good job. Michelle Rodriguez was kind of like the unsung hero of it. I was really impressed with her story arc because mainly you only see her in like the Fast and Furious movies, but she did so good here. So she's keeps doing other roles like this because it was really enjoyable. So the basic story is that Chris Pine's character, he's a thief. He originally had pledged to serve the king, but when his wife was killed, he ended up going on this quest. He kind of lost himself, and then he met Michelle Rodriguez's character, and then they end up like just stealing things to basically survive because he does have a young daughter to provide for, and they're just really good friends. And then along the way, they just pick up these other guys to help in their little band of thieves. From Hugh Grant to Reggie to Justin Smith as a musician that helps them. So it was just very, very entertaining. It reminds me of those old school, from my time period, like 90s, like The Mummy, that type of like feel of adventure type of show.
I love those shows.
So,
I think that's great. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, so it was really good. So I would give this, honestly, 4 wine corks out of 5. It was a very good story. And then season 2 of Bel Air on Peacock is now done, so I will tell you what I thought about season 2. It wasn't as good as season 1. I still like it. It got very dark with the Carlton stuff. It's just so crazy to me. I know this is a dramatic take on the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, but it's like they went such an opposite direction with the Carlton character from the original TV show. It's crazy to me. So overall, the stories are still good. It just wasn't as strong as the first season. I like how it ended, so I have hope that season 3, it hasn't been renewed yet for season 3, but I'm sure it will. I just have hope that season 3 will be a little bit brighter, not as dark, and we'll focus more on Will and Ashley. Ashley has not been given enough of things to do. Ashley's the youngest sister, and I feel like so far they've focused very little on her. It's mainly been about Will and Carlton, and then a little bit of Hillary. So I'm hoping that, they're going to give her a little bit more to do next season. But, so I did like it, just because it's not as strong as season 2. So if you haven't thought about or trying it, you should at least watch season 1 because it is good. And then, go ahead in season 2. Just know it's probably not going to be as entertaining to you, but it's still a good watch. And then I watched my romantic Queen Charlotte Bridgerton story on Netflix. As you guys know, I just love these. I'm just surprised I'm not someone who ever read romance books or anything. I still don't read romance books. I'm fine. But romance shows like this are just so
overrated.
No, they're so great. They're so swoon worthy, and it's just and this one has so much heart. It's a sad story. It's a true story. So I'm not giving anything away to say. You get to see how.
It's a true story? Bridgerton isn't a true story.
No, but it features Queen Charlotte and King George III are real figures in society. Okay. And basically, Shonda Rhimes wrote Bridgerton around them, too. So she based the fake Bridgerton universe around their reign in England, basically. And so she took the real life basis of his life, which is that he was known in the history books as the Mad King. Because, back then, they didn't have any terms of what mental illness was, so they just called him mad. Right. They had they thought, and this show in particular focuses on, they just assume it's a behavioral issue, and there's, if you feel bad about certain things, just know there are some, torturous scenes when they're trying to basically, fix him, and it's not pleasant to watch. It was sad. There's parts I looked away from, I was like, oh my God, stop doing this, before.
Well, I'll have to give that one a whirl.
So, but it's good. It's just 6 episodes.
And it's the prequel, correct?
Right. It's just 6 episodes, but it was so well done because you get to still see the nice romance between the two. His struggles, obviously trying to make himself be a whole person for Charlotte. That's his whole point in doing this. And also it flips back and forth between them when they first met to, I say the now, but the now in terms of Bridgerton, in terms of their older selves as well. So that was cool. You still got to see the couple from the Bridgerton series, but then it also it just flips back and forth between the two timelines. So it is worth the look. Like I said, it'll fly by for you for the most part. I want to say it was just the last episode was an hour and a half, but other than that, all 5 episodes are just an hour, and they just go by that fast because you're that
into it.
So I just challenge y'all to give it a try. Give it a try.
Yes, you're very
passionate. It's a good show. It's a good show. And then finally, last night, folks, I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in theaters. It's of course starring our favorite Guardians, Chris Pratt, Dave Bautista. We have Zoe Saldana, Karen Gillan. It's great. And guys, this was a very good send-off for these guys. James Gunn has said, I'm not doing any more Guardians movies. That doesn't mean that Marvel won't, but I'm as far as him doing them, he's finished, and I think he did them really good justice. It's still funny, has great action. Yes, you're going to get teary-eyed during certain things in here too, and this is Rocky's story. This is, from the trailer, the focus is Rocky, which is great. He's one of my favorite characters along with Groot, honestly, and Star-Lord. So, and basically everyone gets a story arc, honestly, in this. It's just that he is the main one that they're focusing on in this, and it was just really good. I did find that the violence in here was a lot more graphic than it had been in previous movies, so just know that. But it didn't. Wow. Yeah, it was, so that surprised me. I was telling Rochelle earlier that my jaw opened a lot. So I was like wow, okay, all right, it worked. But I was just like, okay, they're really going for it. This third go around. but I do like it. So, and the villain in this, woo, good one. It's a good one. He's worse than Thanos. You wouldn't think but it's
seriously.
I feel in a way they kind of tried to give a little empathy to Thanos in terms of what his reasoning was. But in this, there's no empathy. There's none. You're gonna hate this dude from jump.
So
there's no redeeming qualities.
Worse than Thanos. That is interesting.
It is. He's just. And I feel because he comes from a place of I'm better than everybody, and the way he belittles everybody around him is horrible. It's bad. It's bad. I mean, I was just like, he's a really good villain. The actor did a really good job. I can't pronounce his name because he has a very traditional African name, but he's from the TV show Peacemaker. So he's a really, I loved him in that show. He's a good guy. And, you know, obviously in real life, it's just that he does a really good villain. I was like, whoo, yeah. It was a lot.
Okay.
Anyway, so for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I am going to rate this 4.5 line
Oh
quarks.
my gosh! Yay!
Yep. You know, it's just a half-star point under that because there's some story elements that probably could have been left out just to shorten it a little bit. It was a little bit longer than it needed to be, but overall, I liked it.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see it. So. And I've kind of heard some mixed reviews, but all in all, I've heard it's good and it's fun. So,
Yeah.
especially now from you.
Yes.
So, when you love the Marvel Universe.
I do.
All right. Well, what I've been watching, I went to the theater to watch The Pope's Exorcist. You know me and my creepy stuff. Love it, love it. This one is based on a true story. Father Gabriel Amort, he's the chief exorcist for the Vatican. He battles Satan and innocent possessing demons. A detailed portrait of a priest who performed more than 100,000 exorcists.
Wow.
Over his career. And the ones that, and he wrote books along the way too. So I've actually been intrigued to maybe grab a couple of his books and just check them out. But
is this set in an earlier time period then? Would you say like the 70s or something? Okay.
Yes, a little bit earlier for sure. And the one that there were a couple of stories, you know, it starts out with one really bad exorcism that was pretty awful. But then the second one, you know, the Vatican isn't real happy with him and they're trying to belittle him and tell him he doesn't do it the right way. But, you know, some younger wannabes that just are new to this. I don't know what kind of a board it would be, but it was probably the Exorcist board. I don't know if that's what it's called. But anyway, so he gets called to do by the highest, actually by the Pope, and wants him to take on a recent case that has possessed a young boy. And you know those are always scary and creepy. This was a really scary, creepy, crazy show. I had seen some reviews and I was kind of on the fence, but I love Russell Crowe, so there was no way I was not going to go see this.
Right.
Russell Crowe is something, you know, creepy, I'm going. And I liked it, and my two friends that I went with also liked it. Okay. So, yeah, so I definitely would give it is now streaming, so you can stay home and watch it. But I mean, if that's something you're into like I am, I definitely see what you think. And then I'm watching.
What rating would you give it?
Oh, so I would say, you know, for stuff like this, I'd probably say 3.5.
Okay.
So, and then I'm watching Love and Death on HBO Max. Man, wow, that's a freaking crazy story.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't realize there was this other one like you were talking about that came out last year, but this one with Elizabeth Olsen, she's so good. She's a really good actress. She really is good. And Jesse Plemons, yeah, they played these parts amazing, I thought. I mean, from the time that she just decides that, you know, she needs to have an affair. She has hit a plateau with her husband and decides she wants to have an affair. And the way she goes about it, there's no filter, she just doesn't hold back. And the fact that these two who were very, Jesse Plemons, that guy, he's like an accountant, so he's very methodical. And so they have these sessions to make sure that they're not going to get caught, they're not going to hurt their wife or their husband. And I was so into it from the beginning, and all I could do was say, don't do it, you can still back out, I mean, I just found myself in such tense situations, so I'm excited for the rest of it. I guess there are new episodes every Thursday.
Okay.
So, and then I finally finished watching Rings of Power, season 1 on Amazon, and here's the deal. I am such a Lord of the Rings fan that when I started watching this, immediately I went to the Hobbits and how, I don't know, they still don't jive for me that well, but anyway, I wasn't exactly thrilled about it, so I stopped watching it. And then I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to pick it back up again because it did start to look like it's getting more intense and things are happening.
Okay.
And sure as I'll get out, it started happening, and I really ended up liking it. But it probably took me 4 episodes, and then to get past those hobbits. And the hobbits that were supposed to be from what the Hobbit, that time period.
Okay.
They actually seemed like they were more later in time.
Okay.
Yeah, so it almost felt like it was flip-flop. They tried to make them look older and stuff, but they put twigs in their hair, and anyway, it just didn't really jive for me. But I will say that it was good, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next season. So anyway.
Awesome. As you know, I'm not into any Lord of the Rings, so I will never be partaking in the Strickler series. But that's good to know for those. My dad loves them, but he's one that also started this and has yet to finish it. So I'm gonna tell him that Rochelle finished it and see, and just stick with it.
Tony, just stick with it. Just stick with it, Tony.
So we shall see. Now it's time for some movie trailer talk. So first up, we have a prequel to the original Hunger Games trilogy called The Hunger Games, A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This will be out November 17th and stars Rachel Zegler from West Side Story and Shazam 2. She's just on fire right now. Tom Blythe, Viola Davis, and our favorite Game of Thrones age, Peter Dinklage. This, I was honestly surprised. I wasn't thinking, I remember hearing they were doing this prequel. I'm like, oh, okay. It is basically from, it's kind of telling you the younger version of President Snow, who's played by Donald Sutherland in the first one. That's what this prequel is about, and it looks really good. I was like, it looks like it's a way more serious take than, say, not that the first 3 weren't serious, but it just, a more, if the right word is like grounded, like a more base in reality, as it were.
So basically his, like you were saying, how they got to where they are now.
Right. How he basically got to where he is now, like how the games got to the iteration now that you see with, in those last movies that you saw with Jennifer Lawrence and everything. So
I was a fan of Hunger Games.
I did like them. It's true, President Snow is not a character I liked, so I'm intrigued to see from this movie how he gets to where he is later in life, like how the mindset got there. Because right now, of course, he's not that he seems nice, he just seems not as set in his way about these games as far as the trailer is showing. So I just think it looks really good, and like I said, it looks like Viola Davis right now is the one in charge, so I'm assuming her position is who is the president at the moment, and then whether she dies, naturally gets killed or whatever, and then eventually as Hal Snow becomes the president. Peter Dinklage is the creator of the whole thing.
No way!
He's the creator of the whole game.
And he stars in it too.
I was like, okay. Anyway, it just looks good, so I'm here for
November 17th.
November 17th. I'm
there.
I'm here for it. I mean, it's one of those trailers that actually made me think, this is probably a book I would like to read. I never read any of the other kind, but I actually probably would read that prequel. That's just how interesting this trailer
and
seemed to me.
There is a prequel.
There is a book out, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
There is a book out. Then we have A Haunting in Venice. This will be out September 15th and stars Kenneth Branagh, Michelle Yeoh, and our favorite Yellowstonian, Kelly Riley.
Yay! Love Kelly!
So this is the 3rd movie in the Hercule Poirot Following Death of the Nile movies. So this is again with Kenneth Branagh playing that same detective. This time, of course, he's in Venice. No longer on the Nile, no longer in Egypt. He has now ventured to Venice, and he's helping Kelly Riley's character. It looks like she's seeing the ghost of her dead daughter, and so he's there to debunk, basically, like whatever's happening, it's not what's really happening, type of thing. It's just a teaser, so it wasn't a very long trailer.
So there's more that will come out.
Yeah, so they'll do a full-length one later, but right now, I am intrigued. And I don't even like scary movies, but I can tell that it's going to have a little bit of that in it, plus the normal mysteries of these movies of his.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm here for it. It has a lot more stars in it than these 3 that I mentioned, but these are just the main ones. But there's a lot more faces that flash through really quickly.
Excited.
So this should be good.
I'm definitely down for this one.
And then finally we have Meg 2, The Trench. Now this is definitely a sequel I never saw coming. Did I enjoy the first Meg? Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't the best movie of this kind I've ever seen, but I watch anything with Jason Statham. I just do. And so here he is again. This will be out August 4th, along with apparently a very popular Hong Kong action star by the name of Wu Jing. Coming back. He's asked to come back. The trailer I was like, where are we at? Because the trailer opens with 2 dinosaurs.
Oh, no.
On a freaking beach. And they're like trying to get at this goat. And then the maid comes out and follows everybody. I was like, what time period? I was like, I don't understand what time period was. This is very odd to me. But then it's explained in the trailer that there's some island that has been untouched by time this whole time. And that's why there's still dinosaurs out there.
Maybe, that movie 65, it'll
there you go. That connected it.
Yeah,
so I was just like, because I was like, what? But okay, I guess that explains it. So we are in the now. It's just that there's some island that dinosaurs, apparently, since we never occupied it, they never ceased to, be extinct. So, okay, whatever. So, again, this looks like an off-the-rail bonkers. This shark is eating people at another beach, several beaches probably. It looks way bigger than it did in the last movie to my remembrance. To me, it just does look bigger.
Yeah.
So, it's just one of those.
Yeah,
you don't have to think too much about it. It's just one of those popcorn movies. Just go enjoy the action scenes.
Don't look for a great storyline, I'm sure.
No, I don't think, I can't even tell the story besides let's just stop it. Let's get this Meg down. Stop.
We got rid of the last one. Now there's another one.
Right, let's just get, because it just showed it eating multiple people, and Jason and Wu Jing trying to stop it. So, again, I'll probably see it because I can't, I gotta see anything Jason Statham's in. He's my celebrity boy crush, as it were, for years now. So, So 3 good upcoming options coming out.
Yeah, I'm excited. All right, well, I think that's all we have for this week. Thanks so much for listening. We had fun as usual, and hope you enjoyed it as well. Please give us a review or a comment, as it really does help us out. And please follow us on Instagram at movies_munchies_Moscato. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging.
Thank you, guys. And side note, sorry, I will be on vacation next week, so again, we will not have a episode next week, but we'll come back around the following week.
Yep, sounds good. Rhonda needs to have a vacation.
I know. Dang it. Bye, guys.